Hello and welcome. Today's September 4th, and it's the time to wish a very happy birthday to Google. Google is a company that has taught us a few things, you can make money while not being evil. It's also taught us things like you can be serious without wearing a business suit. And of course, most importantly, it has taught us that you can search the world from your fingertips. While America is still to wake up to Google's birthday, I thought we'll start the conversation in India because I don't think Google can claim to be an American company anymore. I have with me in this chat joining us Sahil and Saurabh. I'm sorry, Saurabh. And we have Jigyasu. Now, Jigyasu, you're a millennial?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so tell me, how has Google changed your life?
Ma'am, if we just talk about a very important yet very essential part of Google, which is Google search. If you talk about that, it has changed things completely. Earlier it used to be if anybody of us wants to search anything, if there's some topic which you have in the mind, so we go to home, we search the books, the newspapers. I'm talking about the earlier time. So now the thing which you can hear the most is, let's Google it. Come on, let's Google it. If you want to search this, let's Google it. So it has become part of not just of our vocab, but also of our lives. Like, we do everything on Google, be it from searching a restaurant that we want to go, be it the flights which we want to take, be it the trains, be it anything. We can search it on Google, and it has become so convenient. For me, if I talk personally, for me, it has become so convenient because everything that I want to do, everything that I want to search, everything that I want to know about is just like a keyword away. I just need to type in and I'll just get the information that I want to. In fact, more than that, if I want just 2 or 3 things, that is okay. It'll give me a whole list of things that I can.
There's an overload of information sometimes?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, yes, it is. But most of the times, it is what we want to. It gives the result what we want to see.
Tell me, have you been to a library?
Yeah, I have been to a library, yeah.
But
the difference is like. Actually, if I would say personally, I don't find much difference, but just the difference of having the thing in your hand and flipping the pages and getting the knowledge out of it. And when it comes to
too many books and looking for books and
so it just takes off that. I don't have to look for books. I have to take the shelf. Shelf B has this book. Shelf C has this newspaper. I don't have to do that.
It's a lifestyle change. You're trying to say it's a lifestyle change,
yeah,
right?
Totally.
So now I'm going to come to you. You also cover technology,
Yes.
and you're clued into technology.
Yes.
How has Google changed your life?
Drastically. So first of all, I being an Android person, Google comes as second nature to me. I'm not an iPhone person. And because I'm an Android person, Google is part and parcel of my life, right from the moment I search the web, to use my Gmail for all the email stuff that I do, to maps that I use for commute, to the cloud that I use for storing all my photos, my videos. Everything that I do is so dependent on Google that, it would be really hard for me to live without Google at this point of time.
Okay, so why we've already spoken about the the way the Google has impacted our lives. I think there is a lot also happening which is a concern. When we talk about Google or for that matter any social networking platform, there are lots of concerns around privacy or around the way things are put out in the public domain, and then we have no control over them. So what do you have to say to that?
It is. See, the thing about cloud and all these services that happen on the internet, there's a negative side to it, of course. There are so many positives, but there are negatives to it. And because there is no, road block to things on the internet, there is only so much that even Google can do. Google on its part really, asks your permission before doing stuff, before taking your data, before whatever you decide to share with Google is up to you at the end of the day. So you have to be a little careful in while you share this information with Google.
So can you tell us how can you be a little careful? Because I know that we jump onto these digital platforms, but there's hardly any education, especially with the new, the kids who are jumping onto the platform. They are never told that there's a public setting, there's a private setting, there is this way or that way where you can keep your data safe, or how prone is your data to getting misused. So what would you be your tips for people to be safe on Google?
First of all, you have to be aware. There's only so much that you would want to share with the rest of the world if things get awry, if things get hacked. So you have to be careful in choosing what you want to share with the world, provided things go in a bad situation. So you have to be nitpicky about these things, not to share store information or share information that is too sensitive, that could lead you into trouble, for say. Google, as I mentioned earlier, categorically asks you whether or not you want to share this information with its clouds.
But most people don't take those notifications very seriously, right? You just click on it and...
In fact, even if we are setting up a new mobile phone, for instance, an Android phone, there are a whole lot of settings that, you have to begin with. But we normally don't tend to follow all those settings. We blankly, say yes to everything that comes up while starting your phone. We have to be a little, picky in giving the permissions, what we want to share and we don't want to share. So we have to be a little careful, be a little more aware.
Also about our passwords, you usually select one password for all the Google apps and then you're done. If you're
that's like a technological suicide, for I would say, because to be that's easy, because of course nobody wants to remember all those passwords, but you should have multiple passwords for multiple accounts, because if one account gets hacked, at least your other accounts are safe. And because a lot of these things today happen via Google, so a lot is dependent on Google. So it's better that you don't link your Google with every social media account, but choose a different account, choose a different email, choose a different password for every social media account that you have. Choose a very strong password, no 1, 2, 3, 4s, no ABCDs. So you have to be careful. These are things that you have to be careful. These things are in your hand. And I think, it's your responsibility to take care of them.
So I'm going to go to Jigyasu, because you are a millennial. And important, I'm mentioning it time and again, because the way millennials think about privacy and putting their data onto the public platforms is very different from what probably my generation would perceive. So do you think it's a concern, the privacy is a concern on Google, or do you think that it's something that you live with?
Like with all the pros that Google provides us with all the facilities, with all the convenience it provides us, it also leaves us very vulnerable to the world, actually. Because as Saurabh said, cloud is one thing. Like, I can store every data on my phone, on my laptop. Whatever data could be my personal data, anything, I can save it on cloud.
Right.
If I save it on cloud, that means I'm putting it on internet, little bit secure, as told to us by Google or by any company for that matter. So we are putting it online, just to think that okay, we are safe because Google has said that we are safe. But it is high. We make ourselves so much vulnerable over this privacy thing. I mean, it does get hindered. I mean, it does get disturbed when we put things on, when we use cloud, Google Cloud, when we store.
Okay, tell me again, as a millennial, Google almost always features in the best employers list. So does that really entice you? Does that give you that thing that, oh, I want to work with a company like Google?
Yeah, sure it does. It does give me thrill. Google is the best place to work at. I've seen, I don't know if there are fake pictures or not. I don't know if Google would clarify someday or not. They have slides in their office. What else do you want? So it's like, yeah, it is.
They have beautiful campuses, that's
yeah,
for
sure.
sure.
It is one thing that, it does excites us.
Aspirational, right?
To me a lot, yeah, it does.
How about you?
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very funky. They try to project a very... at the end of the day, they are an internet company. So, of course, internet is cool. So it's supposed to be cool for people. And this is what they portray. Their offices are really fancy. They have all those fancy swings. And there are areas where you can go and take power naps. There's a whole lot of food that you can have. But yeah, there's work as well. So there's a lot of work. Yeah, you do get a lot of enjoyment seeing those fancy things that they show up. But yeah, there is a lot of work to do as well.
Sometimes you feel that those fancy things are all to keep you in office. They don't want you to go home.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
maybe.
From the technical side, if we talk about Google again, in a way it has kind of reinvented itself. in the past couple of years. It's trying to do a lot of video resurrection of YouTube, and then also their AMP and stuff. So you can see this intense competition between Facebook and Google, and they're going at each other's throat.
True.
And they're actually coming out to be, I hope I'm pardoned for saying this, it's like a digital mafia, right, which is operating right now. So what do you have to say about YouTube's resurrection and Google trying to become a video platform?
It is, ever since Google took over YouTube in a very, very big way and sort of resurrected the platform from, being just a platform that you could share upload your videos and stuff like that, to now live streaming videos. YouTube has come a long way, and Google has a set guidelines or something. It's seeing its future, because video streaming is the way forward. And since Facebook is getting a lot of plus from its live streaming service, YouTube also jumped on board. And because as we head towards 2018, 2019, going forward, I think video is the way to go. And not many people tend to go and read stuff these days. They would rather have it on picture, on YouTube, on video. So for someone who's a content creator, I think platforms like YouTube are really fantastic.
Right. But it also needs a complete reinvention of the way you've been working as a journalist or as a content player, right? Because the set of things that you need to know now are very different from when probably my generation was trained into journalism, was very different from what your generation is now.
True. So it's all those old school things that paper and
4,000 words of text.
Yes, all those things are gradually coming to an end. They will eventually come to an end. I don't wish something of that sort happens, but it would eventually, because videos going forward are the way forward, and because everything is there on picture. You kind of that is something that you get.
Everything's become very visual.
Yes, and visual is something that really appeals to you, and you pick things from that really quickly, and which is why platforms like YouTube and Facebook are jumping on the bandwagon and pushing for live streaming services for content creators.
Right. And you guys to tell me, can you think of a day without Google?
No, I can't.
You cannot.
No, completely.
It's like oxygen,
It's,
water,
yeah,
the
it has,
utilities coming in.
It has conditioned us in such a way. Be it anything Google does, YouTube, everything, maps. Like now we are conditioned in such a way that we cannot survive without Google.
Right.
So
does that scare you? Because sometimes it really scares me. You're going down the street and suddenly you get these notifications that your best burger joint, your favorite burger joint is, in the next street 2 steps to your left, and it's like stalking.
It sometimes does get weird when you suddenly when you're just walking and there's a location in your phone, there's a notification which shows your location saying that the traffic is too heavy over you. So at those are the points when we feel that okay, so somebody is keeping a regular eye on us, which can be a little weird. Like to me, it is something they're really weird.
Talking from a millennial's perspective, that sounds a little weird because I think millennials are so used to it. So it's fine.
No, but it's the same people who are also used to checking their traffic status before leaving their workplace or their homes.
The weather.
So I think really helps. There's always a positive and negative side to it, right?
So how do you see a day without Google?
It's different. It would be different. I would really love to have a day without Google for a change, but that would be only when I'm on a vacation or something like that. Because my work, a lot of my work depends on Google search, everything. As I said, from the beginning, from the morning till I go back to my home, I'm really dependent on Google. So it would be really hard for me to live without Google.
Right.
Yes.
And thank you so much for joining us for this chat, and it's been wonderful. But there is so much to say about Google and all these social media platforms that one chat isn't sufficient. But also to say here that for the media houses, platforms like Google have really come up with the biggest challenge of our lifetimes, because we actually had to reinvent ourselves to suit the distribution pattern of these platforms, and now these platforms are actually coming in as publishers. So God save us all. But that is not to say that Google should not have a lovely and a beautiful future ahead. We wish them all the luck, and thank you for joining us here. Thank you.